Hello to my kings, queens, and in-betweens. I'm Valerie, and welcome to my channel, The Bookish Valkyrie. So this is the last vlog for the amazing readathon, and I have been having a fantastic time. These prompts, this readathon really was built for a reader like me because they are specific enough to make me choose something, but they are vague enough that I can make it fit what I am personally vibing with in the moment, where my mood reading is leading me, and I'm really enjoying that. However, my mood reading did lead me down a sticky path this last leg, and I ended up not completing the leg in time, and I finished it earlier this morning, and I did an update for that at the end of the last vlog. So if you're curious about how that all panned out, feel free to go ahead and go back to that video. And since I am a day and a half late to even starting this leg, I decided to go with a manga, and because I am fairly certain I need some GRC to make it through without having to walk, I picked a host favorite, which is Imakoi Now I'm in Love, Volume 1. I may pick up further volumes of this, I'm not sure. Maybe later down the road. I may not do it for this month, for this readathon. I can understand why Izzy likes this manga series so much. It's super cute and a little unexpected, and the characters are strangely awkward in their very own ways. I mean, I still have this much left to go, but I am thinking I probably will continue this series down the road. Also, I keep forgetting, but I have the readathon bookmark for my team, and I keep not using it. I've been using other bookmarks this whole time, even though I specifically bought this for this readathon. So I'm a dum-dum. I should have this finished, I'm guessing, within the next hour, 2 hours, depending on how many doggy interruptions I get, how much doggy drama happens. Anyway, super enjoying this, and I will check back in with you when I've finished this and have picked my next sightseeing book, and or the new leg has dropped. Whichever thing happens first. It's Tuesday, and I have been going since 3 a.m. because I had to drive my husband into the airport early this morning, and then while I was up north, I stopped and had a really good visit with some friends, and it was really, really good to see them and talk with them and spend some time. And then I am on my way home, but I stopped to grab some Carl's Jr. because they have the teriyaki burger back, and I don't have Carl's Jr. near my house, so I need me some Carl's Jr. But I thought that while I was stopped, I would do a quick update. So I finished reading Imakoi Now I'm in Love, Volume 1, and I loved it. It was fantastic. It just got better as it went. After I did my last check-in, I was like smiling and kicking my feet, happy with what I was seeing. It was absolutely delightful. These characters are so much more direct than what you normally see in a high school romance manga, and they are so cute. They're so honest. They're so direct. They're just so adorable, and they are doing normal teenage things like stealing kisses, and you have the parents that are trying to pretend like they don't know what's happening, and the big brother who's very upset about his little sister growing up. And then we've got the overprotective best friend for the guy, and then we've got the supportive best friend for the girl, and I'm really liking those dynamics, and I think I am definitely going to be picking up some more volumes of this down the line. So I got the Bangkok city prompt turned in, and I turned in my sightseeing prompt that I have had waiting to be turned in for a couple of legs now. And we are still waiting for the next prompt to drop. I'm a little surprised at how long this leg is going. I really did expect it to be a shorter leg because of how much time we've got left and how many shenanigans could still come up. And we've already had our detours, so it's making me wonder, like, if Bree has some more chaos in store for us before we get our next leg, or maybe when we get our next leg. I don't know. But I am having a fantastic time. I started reading my next sightseeing book, which is A Doctor's Discretion by E.E. Ottoman. And I'm using it for the under 1,000 ratings prompt, which I was really shocked that that was the one that I was able to use it for, because out of all of the E.E. Ottoman books out there, anytime somebody brings up E.E. Ottoman and trans romance, this book is brought up. Like, how are there under 1,000 ratings if this book has been brought up so many times, at least to my knowledge? So that's the prompt I'm using it for. I did start reading it late last night as I was trying to fall asleep because of the early morning. So I guess not really late last night, but as I was trying to go to sleep, I was reading it, and I managed to fully forget every single word that I read. I'm pretty sure I read the whole first chapter, but I don't remember any of it. So I will be starting that over again as soon as I get home. So yeah, that is the check-in, and I will chat at you again soon as we get another update, or I finish A Doctor's Discretion, or maybe come across a thing that I have to talk about immediately.
Close your eyes for a minute, close your eyes for a second, I won't change my mind. Water's getting deep now, water's getting deep now, follow me around, yeah. Can you let me down? Please don't let me down, yeah, 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 yeah. Baby, let me down. Can you let me down? Please don't let me down. Please don't let me down. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hello, it is Wednesday, and I am about to go into brunch with a friend, but I wanted to do a quick check-in because we got the new leg today. So while I was driving home from Salt Lake yesterday, I decided that I wanted to have an audiobook going, and I didn't have any romances that felt like it fit my mood, and so I decided to go with another host favorite and a book that I have been looking forward to reading for like a year now, and that is Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. So I won't be getting the genre bonus, but I will be getting the openly queer bonus for the author, and this is a horror book about a conversion camp that has a paranormal bent to it, like a religiously paranormal bent to it. I am about 5 chapters in, and it's been an interesting ride so far. I'm guessing this is going to be either a 4 or a 5 star for me. depending on how it ends. Where it's starting is very cringy for anybody with religious trauma or anything of that nature. But or even just like patriarchal trauma, because they're intrinsically entwined. Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm reading or listening to right now. I am also still reading A Doctor's Discretion, and I have to pick a new book for this leg, which is in New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand, and I have to pick something with water on the cover. But I am not home, so I can't really look at my covers right now. And like I said, I need to run inside real quick for brunch. But I will check in again with you as soon as I know what I'm going to be reading. And see you next check-in.
2,000 years later.
So I am back home, and I have finally figured out which book I want to read for the Auckland, New Zealand leg. So I needed something with water on the cover, and I considered a bunch of different romances, but none of them were feeling like what I want to read right now. Normally I will read KJ Charles at the drop of a hat, and the cover of one of her books has a river on the cover, and so it seemed like perfect. But then I read the back of the book and I went, again, just not feeling that. And then I picked up a YA romantasy. That one also just didn't quite feel like what I was interested in. And then I considered reading an Adriana Herrera book. Again, I just wasn't feeling it. I don't know. So I decided that I probably am not feeling romance. Like, romance is probably the problem. So I'm not gonna get the genre bonus for this leg either, but I am going to get and I'm not gonna get the openly queer author bonus either. I mean, I'll double check, but if I remember correctly, this author doesn't have anything in her bio about being queer or queer adjacent or anything like that. So no bonuses this round, but this book is right around 400 pages, so it's pretty good points wise. And that is The Gifts That Bind Us. And this is the sequel to All Our Hidden Gifts, and I loved that book so much. This is what I would consider a queer story because one of the main characters is non-binary, and our main character is in a relationship with them. So our main romantic relationship is queer. Basically, this is witchy girl gang vibes. And I'm not sure where they're gonna go with this. I'm guessing that the religious group that we were introduced to in the first book is going to maybe feature in this book, but we'll see. I honestly can't remember how it ended, so I may reread the last couple chapters of that book and then come back to this. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to do that. Pick up next, probably in the next hour or two. I am about halfway through Camp Damascus. By the way, it took me until today to realize that there are bugs on the front of this cover. Like, how did I miss that? They're so obvious. Like, in my head, they were just part of the smoke. So anyhow, I will get the openly queer bonus for this book, and I get to submit it under the 500 point sightseeing prompt for a book that Bree gave 5 stars to. So I'm pretty excited for that. And I will be finishing my ebook somewhere in the midst of all of that. So yeah, that's the update for now, and I will catch up with you when I have something else to tell you. Good morning. It is Thursday. I have already had a busy morning, but I wanted to do a quick check-in before I start getting ready for the rest of my day. I still need to shower and pack and head up north to pick up my husband from the airport, and then we're staying the night with his family so that we can do a birthday party for his youngest brother. So basically where I'm at is a little short of halfway through the gifts that bind us. I honestly was having a very difficult time putting down Camp Damascus. I did the whole tandem reading thing, and honestly, I managed to get through the first quarter in like 2 hours. So anyway, I am loving this and going to continue listening to it. I honestly had forgotten how much I loved the first book and the characters in it and the world building. So basically we had like a rosy, joyous summer beginning that quickly started cracking around the edges, and then we've had a bit of a falling apart amongst our characters, but that has led to our main character starting to figure her stuff out. Like, I think that she's going through that phase of being a teenager where you're trying to figure out who you are outside of your friendships. And because of how much she has clung to her friendships as a part of her identity and put so much time and effort and thought into her friendships rather than herself, she is really struggling. But she's finally, I want to say she spent the first quarter really struggling, and she's spent this second quarter finding her footing and finding some joy in thinking about her own future, which is wonderful. And then, of course, we have the paranormal aspect where they are all kind of figuring out their gifts on their own. I forgot that this is a single POV. For some reason, in my head, I had given them all their own POVs. But I think that having a single POV in this instance does a very good job of drilling down on that feeling of isolation that being a teenager has. So yeah, having a good time reading this book, and as soon as I get through that, I will finish reading Camp Damascus, and I am also reading The Doctor's Discretion a little bit here and there when I am not in an audiobook headspace. So I'm guessing I will finish that one before I finish this one, but who knows. But I really hope I can get all three done in time to all go on this leg, because that's a lot of points and I'm excited to be able to contribute that many points. So, but if not, I'm still moving forward and I'll still have another leg to go. I don't know. I'm afraid this leg is going to be a little short, but we'll see. I will do my best to check in with you guys when I am out of the house, but finding the quiet and the privacy for check-ins may be difficult while we are out of the house. I will definitely be checking in though by Friday night, Saturday night maybe, or Friday night or Saturday morning, depending on how late we get in tomorrow night. See you in a minute.
Don't you tell me what I supposed to do. You're better off without me. Don't you tell me what I supposed to do when I'm walking on the streets half naked. It's part of me, it's part of me. When I'm making my bright makeup, it's part of me, it's part of me. When you're crushing all my dreams and you're making me so full. Get out of my life. I know what I'm supposed to do. When you're crushing all my dreams and you're making me so full. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to do. Supposed to do.
way up north to pick up Steve, I finished reading The Gifts That Bind Us on audiobook. I was both unsurprised by the way things went and a little surprised by the way things went. But I'm gonna leave it at that because spoilers. I definitely enjoyed this, and we are set up for the third book, which I'm assuming will be a final showdown type thing between our circle of besties and the children of Bridget. So I'm expecting that to be on the epic end of things. I really enjoy how this series manages to be urban fantasy, paranormal, YA, and yet still a little bit high fantasy. So I think I'm gonna give this one 4 stars, maybe 4.5. I'm not positive yet. I think I need to sit with it a little bit longer and see how I feel about it. But at least 4 stars. And I am about 10 pages away from the end of The Doctor's Discretion. I no longer think this is trying to find its way into being a poly situation. And I never really bought into that theory, but I did have it as a kind of an out there, I don't know where this is going thing. I still am not positive what the end, even though I'm only 10 pages away from it, I'm still not positive what the end is going to look like. So I'll let you know as soon as I know. Hello, it is Friday the 28th of June, and I am doing a quick check-in. Last night I finished reading The Doctor's Discretion and Camp Damascus, and I started a new book. So with The Doctor's Discretion, it definitely did manage to go where I wasn't expecting, but it still made sense. It still made absolute logical sense. I'm always so impressed with how much ground E.E. Ottoman covers in so few pages. Like literally, I was in the last 10 pages of the book and still didn't know exactly where it was going to end. So I think I gave that one 3.5 stars. I thought it was very well written. It was a good story, but I didn't have a lot of emotional connection with the characters, and it's possible that I personally just need a little bit more page space for that. I would actually say, even though this is a romance, it was a little heavier on the plot and a little less heavy on the vibes than I was expecting for a romance. I still really enjoyed it, but I'm just very much a character reader versus a plot reader. So where this leaned more plot than character driven, I just didn't have quite enough space with the characters to get really attached to them. Whereas like The Companion, which I read earlier this month, it was all vibes, all characters, no plot. And so I loved that book. So I think it just comes down to the type of reader that I am. And then moving on to Camp Damascus. This was very well written. Like E.E. Ottoman, Chuck Tingle definitely covered a ton of ground with very few pages, just under 250 pages. And we managed to cover a whole lot of horror. A whole lot of horror. So first, I was a little confused at the beginning if this was supposed to be YA or adult, because the way the main character was talking, it sounded like she was still in high school, and then the next minute it sounded like she was an adult, and then come to find out, it's both. So apparently the Kingdom of the Pines, which is the evangelical cult that she has grown up in, they take their kids out of public school for 2 years and give them religious education for 2 years. So from like junior high through high school, any kid that is from Kingdom of the Pines is 2 years older than their classmates. So she's graduating from high school, but she's 20 years old. And that kind of blew my mind. I can't even imagine being 20 and still in high school, living in her parents' house, without a door on her room, and her dad can take her laptop away because that's too much screen time for her. Like, the rage that I felt. About halfway through is when things really take off, though. Like, the first half of the book is just building the pressure, and then the second half of the book is just shooting you off down the plot line. And I really enjoyed it. I will be reading this again someday, and we'll see if my rating for it goes up or not. But for right now, I'm going to keep it around a 4.5. But the reason that I can't quite make this a 5 is because the relationship that is part of the motivation for the main character is so background noise, and I wanted to see more of it. If this relationship is going to be part of the motivation for the main character, I want to see it. I want to see her motivation. I want to see what more of why, or else I wanted to have more emphasis on the betrayal and less emphasis on I'm doing this for the woman that I love. I don't know. We'll see. It's possible that I've just been reading so much romance this month that is where my priorities are set to. So again, I will probably be rereading this down the line and seeing where I think my actual rating lies. But that said, I really, really enjoyed this book. It was very good, very unsettling. In my particular case, rage-inducing. I had a good time. And then I am currently reading Mating the Huntress by Talia Hibbert, which is a nice change of pace from the books that I've been reading and a good kind of halfway point between genres, I think. I wanted to read some Talia Hibbert. Also, this is, I believe, the first book she ever self-published, the first book she ever wrote. And I just kind of want to see like where she started versus where she's at right now. And I can definitely see the difference, and it's not just in genre, because Mating the Huntress is a paranormal romance, whereas all of the rest of the stuff that we've gotten from Talia Hibbert has been contemporary romance. So, I mean, there's definitely going to be those genre differences, but I'm definitely also seeing the difference in how she writes. I can see the Talia Hibbert we know and love now, and I can see where she started, and that's been a really fun experience. It is under 200 pages, so I should be done with it soon, maybe later tonight. We still have not had a detour drop, and we still have one more leg to go, so I'm getting a little antsy about where things are going with the race, like if we're going to have like 24 hours to read the book for the 9th leg or something like that. Like I don't know how this is going to end. Or maybe it'll drop as soon as I finish this update. I don't know. But we are definitely beginning to run low on time. And we haven't even got the detour yet. And maybe she's going to change the pattern. Maybe we don't get a detour this time. Or maybe she's going to make us do a U-turn. I just don't know. I'm a little in my head about the fact that we haven't had anything drop. I will check in with you as soon as I have an opportunity and or something to report. So it is Monday, July 1st, and I did not record the last 2 days of the readathon at all. Sorry. First Saturday was med day, and it hit me like a freight train, so I was out for a good chunk of the day, just completely zonked, which means I didn't actually get a good start on reading lore until about 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, and did not want to be on camera. Plus, I wanted to concentrate on reading instead of updating. So I just kind of kept that ball rolling through Sunday. I managed to finish this and get to 64% in I read of Mating the Huntress by Talia Hibbert. So by the time that the readathon ended at midnight Eastern time, which was 10 p.m. my time, I was past the 50% mark, so I was able to count Mating the Huntress as a sightseeing for the 10th leg. And I had enough GRC to take an airplane to get to LA. The ending of this made a lot more sense having read the short story collection that was put out, I think, late last year or early this year. Having read that semi-recently, the ending of this had a little bit more body to it, I guess you could say. Like all of the in that very last chapter, there were a lot more Easter eggs. I have to say, if you are into pining, this book is like 80% pining. Okay, maybe 80% is a high number, but there's a whole lot of pining going on in this. I can't tell you why without spoiling it. But there's like a very large chunk of time spent pining. I forgot how funny I thought Lore himself was, because I think I was a little more captivated by his human partner, because he was such a sweet, like, golden retriever cinnamon roll type. And while Lore is also that, he's a lot moodier. He's actually very charming and very enthusiastic, and I find that, again, very charming. And so I found Lore himself to be a lot more interesting despite his emo period. We'll call it an emo period. I found him a lot more interesting this time around than I did the first time around. And so I was really glad that I got the chance to reread this. I guarantee I wouldn't have picked this up until closer to the release of the next book for Lore's brother, Leary. And then Mating the Huntress was a lot of fun. Definitely saw a lot of the underpinnings of Talia Hibbert's writing style in there and the things that she really enjoys. I thought that it was a whole lot of fun. If you want a murderous little couple, this is the couple for you. If you want sweet cuteness and murder, or not murder, and violent tendencies all in one book, this is the one for you. Also, it's under 200 pages, so it's a very quick read. And it's very interesting to see where Talia Hibbert is now versus where she was when she wrote this book, and the things that have continued on through her writing style and the things that have kind of been developed. So yeah, that was a fun read to end on. I did finish reading it in its entirety before midnight, so I got to count it for my July reads. And yeah, I'm not gonna end it just yet, because tomorrow we should be getting the results on who won the readathon, like which team won, and I really am excited to see how that goes down. I kind of want to respond to that or have a little celebration or boohoo party tomorrow. So one more check-in and that'll be the end of the video.
This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose, but when you talk to me, give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface. And I could walk for days searching for your praise, but is it even there to find? Is there a chance for me to learn your memories?
Thursday the 2nd, and it looks like I am finishing this vlog in my car. So I am currently up north. I just finished a couple of appointments, and then I'm going to meet up with my sister-in-law so I can deliver a few books to her that I am done with, but she is excited to have, and I am excited to give them to her. So you will have seen in the B-roll that I did stop in at the King's English bookstore in Salt Lake. It's just up the street from my doctor, or at least this particular set of doctors. And so I got here a little bit early, and I took advantage of the moment. We did get our rankings back, and Team Romance came in second, which honestly I would have been shocked if we won first. I know some people were a little, happy but sad that we didn't win the whole thing. But frankly, with as large of a group as we had and the averaging of scores, there was very slim possibilities of us getting first place. As far as I could tell, we won 2 legs, lost 1 leg, and we were somewhere in the middle rankings of the other 7 legs. So us getting second place makes me feel really good, because it means we were probably neck and neck for first the whole time, and there was literally only a 1,000-point spread between first place and 5th place. So getting second still feels really great. I have had a really good Pride Month. I really enjoyed just steeping in the queer reads and the queer joy and some of the queer not so joy, because I definitely had a couple of horror reads in there, but I think I still stayed predominantly in the cozy end of things for the most part. But yeah, I am so excited to have been able to do this. I have definitely joined a couple of discords to, like, I joined Shay Geeks Out Discord, and I also joined the Discord for July Noir Readathon. Okay, so my phone overheated because it was working hard in the heat of the car. So I had to let it cool down, and in the meantime I have been visiting with my sister and brother-in-law and with my high school bestie. So yeah, busy day. But when you live far away from everyone and everything, you've got to cram as much visiting time as you can into every bit of mileage you've got. So anyway, it's been a good day, and it's not over. Anyhow, I still need to close this vlog. I do not remember what I was saying. I'm sure I was babbling about something. I really loved this readathon and had such a great time. Bree is amazing for putting this together. The organizational acumen it takes to put this kind of thing together is beyond me. But I very much appreciate all of the hard work that she and all of our producers and team leaders put in, because it's a lot. And it was so good. It was so good. I hope that they feel like it was worth it for their time. I very much appreciate their time. It was very worth it for me. That, I think, just about buttons things up. Thank you for hanging out with me all this time, and I will catch you next video.
Stars shining bright above me. Night breezes seem to whisper sycamore tree. Dream a little dreamer.
All right, so it is. Good morning. It is Thursday. But I did the whole